Kieran, congratulations on winning the Manager of the Month award. I know that you see this as more of a collective effort, and I understand when you had the photo taken today, you pretty much invited everyone to be part of it. So just tell us a little bit about that and your pride in the whole team and backroom staff.
Yeah, I think, whether it's as a staff member or as a player, awards are always reflective of the team, and, any managerial of the month award is really a reflection of the work of the players on the pitch, and I think the work of the players on the pitch is a reflection of the work of so many people here at the training ground and also at the stadium. So yeah, nice to share these things with the staff. We won this award this time last year actually, and we shared it with the staff at that point, and it was nice to speak to some of the staff about that today, because we're 12 months on, so to be in this position that we're in, to have progressed how we have done with the promotion, to be sitting here with a team with the least losses in the division, to be come through last season having only lost 4 games, to have hit the level of consistency that we have done in the performances, the competitiveness of the performances in each game. I think that's a testament to the players, and again to all the people here. So in the middle of a very busy schedule and a very, very busy 2 weeks, and of course an exciting end to the season, it was nice to be able to share that moment with them, and reiterate that I know they will do, but we'll all keep pushing out to the end of the season and try and finish as well as we can, and give the players the best chance to keep performing as they have been.
I think in March it was 5 wins and a defeat, wasn't it? But of course what was extraordinary with that was your 6-run winning run, and then you lost, and then you bounced back and won another 3, and that's something that since you come in, really that's something that's been very apparent about your teams, because you still haven't lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I think that's something, it's not something we speak about very often in the group, but it's something I'm aware of and something I'm proud of, really, because that's 2.5 seasons almost in a really, really competitive EFL in 2 different divisions, and of course stepping up a division this season. So we take pride in preparing as well as we can for every game, being competitive in every game, trying to perform our best in every game, and we've managed to do that to a really high level. And I think when we have had setbacks, as you're going to have over the course of a season, where you lose games or you don't perform as you want, I think the group's been really good at keeping the consistency of moving on quickly, learning lessons and going on to the next game, and that's served us well, and I think that's reflected in that record.
Now, I actually interviewed you this time last year as part of that Sky Bet thing, and here we are 1 year on, and you've obviously got promoted from League One, and here you are with this possibility of promotion to the Premier League. Could you ever imagine that the year could have gone like this in your wildest dreams, or even this group's wildest dreams?
Honestly, no. I don't think anyone would have thought it would have been possible to be in this position. No, I think if you were minded to set out ambitions like that, I don't think you would have set them as high as what we've achieved. So that's why it's one of the reasons why we don't think too much like that, because sometimes sitting down and putting a target down for how many points you can get, or how many wins you can get, or how you can adapt to the division, that can be a limiting factor more than an ambition. And that's one of the reasons again why we just focus on trying to get better every day, trying to improve the players, improve the team every training session, and keep developing ourselves all the time and see where it takes us. And it's served us really well. We're really proud, of course, of the step up that we've taken, but it's not something that we've necessarily laid out. It's just been about the day-to-day improvements, and we'll try and continue that way right through the end of the season and beyond.
It's been an unprecedented season at the top of the Championship. I know Southampton have just dipped below the 2-point-a-game average, but the top 3 all have that average. And never in the history of the Championship has a team failed to go up with that average. And there is a chance that one of you, if not 2, could fail to get promoted at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think again it's a testament really to the group and the work that's been done. We know the stats around it, and we know that in any other given season, if we were sitting here on 88 points with 4 games to go, some seasons we'd be promoted already. Other seasons, at a maximum we'd be 1 win away, and we know this season it's not going to be that, and it's going to take a considerable higher number of points than what the teams at the top end have so far. So That's been exciting to be involved in. We were involved in similar last year, to be honest. In League One, it was record breaking points tallies and 3 teams who finished above 96 points or above, and that was incredible to be involved in. So to be here now, and the level of the teams that we're up against, 2 of the strongest teams I think there's been in the division for a long time, 2 teams that really should never have dropped out to the Premier League. For us to be here competing with them has been excellent, and it's been enjoyable to be part of. But again, we don't want it to finish yet. We've got 4 games left. The time for looking back will be in the future, and for now it's just about looking forward to the next one.
So 4 very exciting games to look forward to, and I say this is the real nitty gritty. This is the business end of the season. But of course, last season you were in sort of the same scenario as you say. You were competing. How much did that put you in good stead for this season? How much experience did the players draw from that, for this particular run, albeit at a higher level?
Yeah, I think they've drawn a lot on it, to be honest, and that is something that we've spoken about, because not just the end of the season, but right the way through the season, how we are as a group, how we focus on performance, how we focus on culture, how we focus on our processes, and how that helps us get results. We've been really consistent with that. But of course, coming to the end of the season, and trying to put winning runs together like we managed to do last season. This season we managed to put a really good winning run together through February and March, and through busy fixture schedules. I think you do draw on the experiences that you've had, and more importantly probably what brought you those successes. So yeah, I think the group's lent heavily on that. Of course, we're playing against much harder teams in a much harder division. So I think last year we maybe won 13 out of 14 or something like that. I think for us in the Championship, that that quite frankly probably is impossible, and that's not something we're going to achieve. But in terms of being consistent, being level, not being too up or too down when things go our way or don't go our way, and how to prepare for the next game when it comes thick and fast, I think the group have learned a lot about that. I've got some good experiences, and that's something that we do use.
And I'm always you always do when a manager does well like yourself. You're getting linked with all sorts of jobs. But it sounds all exciting what's going on. So regardless of what happens, whether the club gets promoted or not, are you hopeful that you're going to be here next season?
That's certainly where my focus is. It was a big commitment to come to this football club, and I came because it was a football club with a lot of potential, and of course history that is a big part of that potential as well. And I knew there would be good support around myself to develop the team and try and develop a football club that has had a great history, but wasn't where it wanted to be, and try and bring that club to better times over a longer period of time. So yeah, we're still in that process. I'm enjoying that process. We're enjoying the work day to day, and we're certainly enjoying the last couple of seasons on the pitch as well. So my full focus really is continuing to do that, and continuing to try and help improve the team and develop the football club.
I read a previous article that you featured in where you spoke about you always give everything in whatever you do, whatever task it is you do. Away from football, could you give me an example of something where you've put everything into it and it's got nothing to do with football?
Yeah, it's been a long time since there was, one of those, to be honest. I think, certainly for the last good amount of years, it's been football and family, and that's it. I think they're the 2 outstanding priorities, and there's 24 hours in a day. That's where they all go to, apart from, of course, the few hours sleep you do get. So look, that's always been my nature, whether that was school as a young man, whether it was as a young player, coming through the system at Tottenham. I think anyone there would say that I was the player who would give every single drop of myself to every training, every game. See him in other sports, see him in my studies, and see him in how I've tried to develop myself as a coach. So yeah, I think that internal drive's always been really high. In this career, you don't have the opportunity to use that drive in too many different directions, because it all goes into the job, or very importantly, making sure that you're able to dedicate enough time to your family as well. Yeah.
But is there things like you do, like, I don't know, do you sometimes dab hand at cooking at all, or anything like that you want to do a good job on?
No,
I think leave all that to someone else?
I'd have to say I think I'm very fortunate with the support that I've got at home with my wife and family, and I think especially probably in the last years stepping up as first team coach at Man United, stepping into this, your first managerial job. Honestly, there's so little, the way I do the job and the way the staff around me do the job, there's so little time to focus into anything else. It's all it's all about pouring your everything into every day.
Now, you also said that one of the things you picked up from Jose Mourinho was his love of winning and his hatred of losing. Now, I want to ask you about your hatred of... Do you hate... Obviously, you hate losing, but what does hate losing look like for Kieran McKenna?
Yeah, I think hatred of losing for me is to be seen in the preparation. For me, it's, about knowing that there's no stone that's been left unturned. There's not... one single bit that you haven't put into the training week, into the build-up, into trying to help the players mentally or tactically or technically or physically for the games coming up. There's not, one thing that you could have done in terms of the opposition to prepare better for the game. There's nothing left unturned in terms of the messaging that you've given to the players or your preparation for how you might affect the game during the game and preparing for different scenarios and substitutions that can make an impact. I think for me, that's where the work goes in. That's where I feel like I can do everything I can to not lose a game, to be competitive, to give myself, the team, the absolute best chance. And that's something that I don't think I could ever step away from or would be able to accept less from myself or the people around me. And I think when you do that, then football is a random game. Sometimes it's low scoring, it's a set play, it's width of a post, it's the referee decisions. There's a lot of things you can't control, and of course you hate to lose any football match, but I think I'll always know that I'll put absolutely every single thing in that I can to helping the players and preparing the team as best as I possibly can. And if I've done that, and if the team have played to the identity and the plan that we've laid out, then I think I'm pretty good at being able to deal with, the result of, what a football match can bring from there.
I asked you after the Southampton game, because you were talking about the amount of prep that went into there. It was a quick turnaround and it was an unbelievable amount of prep. You said, but you did quite answer the question. I was asking you, what sort of time did you go to bed? I was just fascinated at how late you have to stay up, because I know you get up early as well.
No, I think it changes. I think on a typical day, I like to be here by 6 and be here for an hour or so before the rest of the staff get in, and we work a really good day, that's for sure.
What sort of time are we talking? 6 a.m, 7 a.m, something like that? Or?
In the morning, I think probably typically we're here maybe 6 to 6 on a normal working day, and then of course a few hours to see the family and see the kids and see my wife, and then there's usually a few hours of work to do before bed as well to prepare the next day, whether that's training session, whether that's videos, meetings that are coming up, and there's usually a couple of hours to do in the evening, once the kids are off to bed as well. So there's two big priorities, as I said, in life and certainly in the day-to-day, and that's, there's an awful lot of hard work goes into doing this job as best as I can, and every other hour is, making sure that you're there to give the family the time that they deserve as well. And it's something I enjoy. I say I'll never complain about it. I've always, seen it as a privilege to work in football. Studying, watching, talking, helping players with football isn't, it's a job, but on the other hand, it's not a job, it's a passion, it's a love, and it's something that I'm very pleased to do. So there's never any complaints about long hours and things like that. We still consider it a privilege.
But I mean, obviously you have to have an understanding family. Obviously you've been with your partner for years, and then obviously you've got two little ones. So does your emotions ever spill into that, or are you able to separate it and keep that away from each other, or not?
No, it's very hard. It is very hard. I have to say, it's very hard to switch off. Not necessarily just the winning and the losing, because I say if I've done everything in the preparation, then I think I'm fairly good at dealing with the random outcomes a football match can bring. But yeah, when you're as passionate about the job and you're as dedicated to it, it is not easy to switch off. It's not easy to find time where you can move your head out of that scenario, but it's something that I'm working on. I hope throughout my managerial career I'll get better at it. I say my family are very supportive with it, and they understand the sacrifice and the dedication it takes. But yeah, it's something that I could certainly say that I'm working to get better at, and I hope as the time goes past I'll master that skill a little bit more.